means I control the system because the records are computerized.
And by looking over your shoulder,
system.
how am I keeping you from keeping the records?
You can look over my shoulder as it is. You have enough access right now to look over my shoulder. You have full read-only access. You can see everything that's done in the system. I can give you the audit reports that show every change everybody's gone in and ever done in the system, any user. It tracks everything that's done.
But you're not comfortable with the concept that you are not the judge and the jury.
I think that's mischaracterizing what she's saying. She feels a duty to maintain those records because of those statutes that I mentioned. And I think we're all having a difference of opinion as to whether granting access to another administrator compromises her ability to safeguard the records.
I think that would be a pretty far-fetched argument. I have a key. I can get into any building in this county that I want. And you're going to say that me, if I'm the one appointed an administrator, you're damaging the integrity of it? I'm entrusted with every building. I budget every dollar. And you think
something? You don't have a key to my bulb. Just nobody does because I got locked out of it. Now I know.
Don't have a key to your vault. Okay.
Yeah. So. Yeah.
And you don't budget every penny because right now you're refusing to open up the budget to budget the new revenue that's coming in. You want to spend it first and budget it later.
Whoa. Interesting.
And for clarification, that's grant money. There's no requirement to open the budget for grant money.
Yes,
It's
there
already
is.
been
Yes, there is.
not.
Absolutely no, there's not. The statute says the commission may, and this is an argument for another day. The commission
Correct.
may.
But a lot of that grant money has to be spent up front out of general revenue before it gets reimbursed by the grant. So
Right.
it does have to be spent out of general revenue. So it does have to be budgeted out of general revenue first.
You know, I can compile a room full of lawyers that say that you're wrong. And no offense, but because I have to adhere to the law, I have to adhere to what the lawyers are telling me. I listen to your opinion, but I have to adhere to what, once again, what Leah's telling me, what Ivan Schrader's telling me.
Well, I've got 7 other county auditors telling me it's normal and usual to open the budget for new revenue, and they do it especially because of grants. So, you know, you can go, your lawyers to support you. I've got other auditors supporting me and saying the proper way to do it, the transparent way to do it is up front to open the budget, have your public hearing, say, public, here's the money we're getting in, here's how we intend to spend it. The way you want to do it is spend it first, and then in November, have your budget hearing and say, oh, by the way, here's how we spent this money.
How many times a year do those 7 counties amend the budget?
One county does it regularly, several times a year. Platte County's already opened their budget twice this year.
And it just seems like to me you'd be doing it all the time.
You could be. You could be,
I've
but
never
that's the
heard of a
proper
county doing
way and the legal way to do it. You know, that's the legal way to do it. 2 years ago, you guys opened the budget for an illegal reason, to cut it. You would open the budget to cut the budget, which is illegal, but what's legal to open it for new revenue is legal, and you won't do it. Doesn't make any sense.
Grant funds are earmarked for specific purposes, so it's not like the money can be spent outside of the parameters that the grant money was intended for, otherwise you don't get the grant. Grant money doesn't go into general revenue. Grant money is earmarked, this is what it's for, whether it be child support, juvenile office, whatever.
Right, but like
That's
I
what it's
said,
for.
most
Okay, you
of
sent
those
that
grants have
memo
to be spent out of general
you sent
revenue.
that memo to I think 20 or so auditors. You got a response from 7, I think. One of them said exactly what we've been saying. It's a pain in the neck. You can spend up to the gross appropriation. You need to wrap yourself around the gross appropriation thing, and then we will get along a lot better. But you sent it to, let's say 20, there were more than 20, you sent it to 20 auditors, you got responses from 7. I would hardly think some of those responses would fully support you. So what you're saying is there are approximately 13 counties that are doing things illegally and are going to end up in Leavenworth prison.
I don't know what those counties are doing.
They're not,
They
they're,
may
they're
be
not
opening
speaking
the
in
budget like they're supposed to. They just may not have had time to read and reply to the email. but it's by statute, it's legal to open the budget to add new revenue, and that's the best practice to do because that's transparent, that you don't have to do a lot of contingent transactions in your accounting system because you're charging it off to this budget, but it's really going to go to this budget later and it's got to be moved. It makes an accounting nightmare and a mess to do it on the back end after you've already.
If we don't open the budget, which we're not going to anytime soon, if we don't though, you talk about transparency. Are we not going to account for and keep track of the transactions?
Yes, I'm going to make sure we keep track of it.
And if someone wanted to look at those, they could. What's transparency
but it's
is,
after the fact.
if you want to look, you can see. What's not transparent about it?
Because it's after the fact, after you've already spent it.
Well, that's not what we were convened here, but that discussion will resume. But we're not going to open the budget up anytime soon. I know that for a fact. We, in conversations with Tyler Technology, we need to have something in the minutes that specifically says as contracting party, we want to have a member of the county commission as an additional security administrator. So I would entertain a motion to proceed and put that in the minutes that we would like to recoup our admin rights as contracting party.
I move we appoint Dan Colbert and Fletcher King as security administrators of the Linc system, and that Tyler Technologies be informed of this action.
One or two?
That's two.
So now
You
we
said
have,
one.
so now we have three.
Three.
I would entertain a second for that motion.
I'd like to call for discussion a little bit.
Oh my
further.
God.
Okay?
Talk about,
Sounds to me like that's a pretty unclear situation. So when you say three, well, we have three, so Deanna's job will be one of those three? Is that what you meant by that last, whenever, right, the last few minutes was unclear.
Okay.
The last 30 seconds even of what you were saying. So whenever we add you on as security officer, what is that, and Fletcher, what does that do on this motion with Deanna?
She's not involved?
And why Fletcher? Fletcher doesn't even need to have a user ID in the system at all. He doesn't do any of the accounting processes. He doesn't do payroll, AP, general ledger, budget, any of it. Why would you let Fletcher be in it?
Because he is totally removed from it. He serves as the IT person. He's the backup.
the clerk.
Fletcher's not an IT person. I mean, he works in the clerk's office for voter registration. Our IT people, I was under the impression was Huber and Associates.
The closest thing to in-house
Yeah, that's the reason I submitted his name.
that we
because
have is
he
Fletcher.
knows more about the system.
And Fletcher
I don't think
has,
you should just appoint one person.
Fletcher has 20 to 30 years experience in the IT business. That's what he retired from. So
This really isn't an IT thing, though.
software is not an IT thing.
Well, not within the encode system. It's not it doesn't have to be an IT person as the administrator. It has to be somebody that understands.
So IT people are excluded from it?
Well, I'm saying it doesn't have to, you don't need an IT person to be the administrator of your accounting system.
He's not the administrator of the accounting system.
Well,
He
that's
has
what you're
administrative
voting.
access to the software. You run the accounting system. You put the debits where the debits want to go, the credits where the
But
credits
when you
want
give
to go.
That's what I wanna
somebody the
make sure we keep
administrative
talking about.
rights in the system, they have full rights within that system to do everything. Including changing other users' rights.
Right?
Can I ask something? Would the administrator be able to change data that's entered into the system?
Yes.
It could be set up that way.
That's the integrity.
It automatically is that way when you have administrative rights.
So the numbers could be juggled.
We're talking about two separate things here.
No, we're not.
No, we're not.
No, we're not. No, we're not.
that's what I wanna make sure we're talking about. Are we talking about the same thing, two separate? You're still gonna be in
We're
charge.
not talking about the same thing. We're talking about two separate things.
What you're talking about, you might as well just go back to the way it was and make everybody, give everybody full administrative rights and have no security at all and no,
I
no
don't think
internal control.
that's a true statement. I don't think that's what we're after.
Well, we went from 1 to 2 to 3 now. There's, you know, what's to say that it won't be 4 to 5 to 6? It's, the integrity is being compromised.
You're missing the whole thing.
No, we're not.
No, we're not. No, we're not.
This is our taxpayer money that we're
We got
talking
it.
about.
And I would-
If someone else can go in there and juggle the numbers,
Explain something to me. I think I see what they're saying, and I think I kind of see what you're saying. The people that you would be adding, would they have the capability, and according to Deanna, they would, okay? I'm not familiar with how the administrator and what abilities they would have in the software that she basically handles in her office. But the people that you would be adding, would they have the capability of making changes to the document, the software, the information that she has?
No.
You say no. How would you protect other than saying, you can't do this? But if they're an administrator, they have that capability. How would you prevent them from being able to go in and alter any of the records that exist? That's my question.
Okay, there's two levels of access. What we didn't have in place before was a single point of contact as the contracting party. And this was unique to Lincoln County. We did not have this. The contracting party with which all roads lead. That's the contracting party. That's where you start. That's this level. That's the level that would appoint the accounting administrator, which in this case would be the auditor. That would be the top of the hierarchy that would have access to all the accounting entries. We're not proposing to add someone who can get in and change the data. All we're doing
Yes,
is
you are.
establishing.
If you give them administrative rights, they can.
You've got a
In the
clerk.
Encode system. See, you don't even understand how the security in the Encode system works. If you give somebody else administrative rights, it gives them all access to do anything they want. As long as they figure out how to do it and they know how to do it, they can do it.
I don't understand it because I don't understand it your way.
No, you have not gotten in there and done the training and learned how it's set up and you don't understand it.
Bob?
I think I see an easy solution to answer what she's saying to you, which you're saying the opposite. And that is, if she could sit down with you, give you access, and show you where you could go in and make changes. If that's the case, the people that you're adding, and they can go in and make changes, what is your take on that? What is your position? Do you still want to add these people?
Yeah,
Even
why?
though they would be able, if she could show you that these people that were being added as administrators could go in and alter the records that she has, would you still want to add them if there's no way that you could prevent them from making changes?
I have been on the phone with the people who sold us the software.
Okay. Okay.
They understand the difference in the levels.
And they're telling you that they can't make changes? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
Right. They
Okay,
understand
okay.
that there's another level up here that
Okay.
just establishes.
Okay, I'll be quiet now, because I'm not privy to that information that you
Right.
have. And I'm not privy to being familiar with the program that Deanna is working with, okay? So I see a problem here. If we could resolve this some way and you